Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 93 of the Nourish and Strengthen podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about how to handle summer hunger, cravings, and late night snacking because we know that the summer can totally throw off our eating routine sometimes, right? Everything just kind of hits different. We're eating a little later than normal because the sun goes down later than normal. We're socializing more. We might be craving ice cream, chips, cocktails. Maybe you are grazing at the buffet at the barbecue for a lot more than you mean to, or standing in front of the pantry at 9 p.m., even though you're not hungry. We're going to talk about all of this, okay? So if this sounds like you, make sure you keep listening because we're going to talk about ways to stop that summer craving spiral so you can really enjoy all the foods of the season because I love summer. And naturally, we find ourselves just kind of craving or wanting to eat the healthier things, right? The lighter foods, the fruits, the vegetables, the salads, the lean grilled meat straight off of the grill, and it's so fun. And it's such a fun contrast from the heavier comfort food that we tend to crave in the winter, right? So, we're going to talk about why we might have more cravings in the summer. I'm going to break down what is causing these cravings, okay? And then I'm also going to give you 8 strategies, summer friendly strategies to help with these cravings, okay? Let's go ahead and just jump right in. So, why do you think that summer is going to trigger more of these cravings? I have a few ideas that I brainstormed, okay? First one is we tend to have less structure in the summer, right? Our kids don't have school. They might be, asking you to do stuff for them or with them more often. Maybe we don't have to get up at a certain time. We don't have to be certain places at certain times. And that can generally lead to a little bit more mindless eating. Okay. It might throw off your typical eating schedule, leave you more munchy, more snacky, just kind of without that routine, right? Another reason can be the higher temperatures. Sometimes dehydration can actually be mistaken for hunger. And so if you're not getting in plenty of water, the heat can actually dehydrate you, right? And make you feel more hungry. Other times, the heat can suppress your appetite, make you not so hungry, can have you unnecessarily lower your calories. And then that hunger is going to rebound at night, which can give you tons of hunger and cravings later in the evening, right? A couple different scenarios there that are related to the temperature. You may find that you're awake later at night because the sun is going down at 9:30 or something. I don't know. At least here in Utah, that's what happens. Versus 5:30 in the winter. So you're out, you're busy, you're outside, and you might just be hungry later in the evening. So you have more snacking windows and more time to overeat, right? You might have more alcohol, maybe more sugar, which can lead to unstable blood sugar, which leads to more cravings. You might have more emotional triggers like with barbecues, lake days, beach days, more vacations, things like that, where you might feel more emotionally driven to eat, and there's just treats and snacks everywhere, right? You got your chips, you got your ice cream, you've got your alcohol at barbecues. Those are some reasons why sometimes the summer can make it a little harder to stick to your nutrition goals. So let me kind of break down. There's 4 common types of cravings. Okay, I'm going to break those down for you and give you some tips on how to handle them. Okay, first one is actually physiologically due to your blood sugar. Okay, now keep in mind, I know I say this all the time, but blood sugar spiking after a meal is normal. That's not something we are trying to avoid. Okay, what we want to try to avoid is the constant intake of carbs and sugar, which is going to cause blood sugar to increase and then stay elevated. Okay, we want blood sugar to go up. We want our bodies to release insulin and bring that blood sugar circulating in the bloodstream back down to healthy levels. That is a normal blood sugar insulin response. Okay, now if you are eating a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, drinking a lot of alcohol, blood sugar can go high, extra high, like higher than normal, and then it can crash down lower than normal, which can leave you with more cravings, okay? So if you're skipping meals, under eating early in the day, that can cause blood sugar cravings as well. So here's an easy fix for that one. I want you to anchor every meal. Think about protein, fiber, and fat. That is our key there to keeping blood sugar levels at bay, okay? Protein, that's an obvious one. Your lean meats, your eggs, your shakes, your dairy, that kind of thing. Fiber most easily will come with your fruits and veggies, right? And then fat can be nuts, avocado, seeds, an oil-based dressing, things like that, okay? If you've got those 3 things, your blood sugar is going to be good. Okay. Also, eat every 3 to 5 hours. Don't go too long without meals, and don't skip your breakfast. Okay. Especially if you're in perimenopause, we don't want you skipping breakfast and waiting until like 12 or 1 to eat your first meal. Okay. Second type of craving is dehydration, kind of masquerading as hunger. Okay. So, like I mentioned before, hot weather can cause more dehydration. You don't realize how much you need to stay up on your water intake when it's hotter and you're a little bit sweatier, okay? Because the hot weather is going to increase that water loss. So drink plenty of water. At least half your body weight in ounces of water a day is great. If you're outside more, I want you to add more to that. If you work out that day, I want you to add more to that. If you get a little bit sweaty or a lot of bit sweaty, add even more, okay? So half your body weight in ounces is the minimum to stay hydrated, okay? Adding electrolytes will help. Okay, I love hydration from Transform. I love the electrolytes from New Ethics as well. Sipping those throughout the day can really, really help stay hydrated, okay, which can help with cravings. Number 3, emotional eating cravings. So maybe you have a quiet evening, maybe you're feeling bored, maybe you're feeling lonely, stressed, whatever it is. Sometimes we are stressed and we just want to check out, and food can help us do that. Food and alcohol can both help us do that, right? And so you got to be aware. I want you to have some sort of routine where when you're hungry, you're asking yourself, is this really what I want? Am I really hungry, or am I eating out of emotion? Okay. Ask yourself, am I bored? Am I lonely? Am I, maybe I am hungry. I need a full meal, not just like some snacks or whatever I can grab out of the pantry or the fridge, right? Another idea here is to have a nighttime routine that includes things that bring you joy that aren't related to food. For me, that's reading my book. Okay. Reading my book in my bed with my blankie. Reading, stretching, journaling, watching a show, whatever that is that you can look forward to that does not revolve around food can be really helpful to kind of scratch that emotional itch, so to speak. Okay. And the last type of craving I wanted to break down here is just that habitual snacking. You're not even hungry. You're just used to eating while you do this certain thing, right? You're used to eating while you watch a movie. You're used to eating while you are sitting outside by the pool, whatever it is. So here's what you got to do. You got to be intentional and change the cue. Okay. So if your typical cue is like movie equals popcorn, you just got to change it. Okay. So maybe your hands are used to doing something, and that's what you like doing with the popcorn. You want your hands to be moving. Get a little fidget toy, learn how to crochet, do something with your hands that isn't eating. Does that make sense? Maybe you do some coloring while you watch a show, or just something that is kind of similar, but without the food. Okay. The best example I have would be like the popcorn, bringing food to your mouth and back down to the popcorn bowl. Do something different with your hands. Okay. All right. So I've got 8 summer-friendly strategies here for you that will help you with that summer cravings, hunger. We kind of talked about each one of those types of cravings, and we're going to go into more of those here with how to manage the cravings and the hunger. So number 1 is build your meals to satisfy you. I know we talked about the protein, fat, fiber combo, which is great for cravings. I want to add another little element here, and that is volume, satisfaction, and flavor. Just kind of a different way to think about it. So you've got your protein, fat, fiber, right? Now I want you to think like, how big is this meal? If you think about a 400-calorie meal that is a big salad with fruits and veggies and lots of different colors and lean meats and a yummy dressing, that's a much bigger 400-calorie meal than a fast food hamburger and a couple fries, right? And so you want to think about volume, but also about satisfaction and flavor. It is proven that the more flavor something has and the more you enjoy that flavor, the more satisfied you're going to be from your meal. So this is not the kind of situation where you need to, only eat quote diet foods because you want to lose weight. Like, no, you want to love the foods you're eating, because then it's going to be easier for you to stay on track with your goals and really just look forward to your meals. Okay. So volume, satisfaction, flavor. All right. And number 2, make room for fun foods. Okay. But here's a little tip around those fun foods. Try to not enjoy those fun foods on an empty stomach. Interesting, huh? Maybe you haven't thought about that aspect before. If you want a little bit of dessert, have it after dinner when you're full and you're not as likely to, go to town and eat multiple servings. Maybe you want a cookie, but you tell yourself, okay, but I need to eat something healthy first, right? We do that with our kids, right? Yes, you can have dessert, but you have to have your dinner first. It makes sense. Fill up on the healthy food, and then you can have a little bit of fun food afterwards, right? Number 3, here's another new approach you might not have thought of. I'm calling it the pause and plan approach, okay? So the key here is you're having a craving, maybe you're hungry, you're not sure, you're going to pause. And you're going to say, do I really want this or do I want something else? Okay? It's that pause and then plan and think, what itch am I really trying to scratch? Am I really lonely? Maybe I need to call a friend. Am I really bored? Maybe I need to go outside and go for a walk or do something that I love to do. Am I really uncomfortable? Maybe I need to do something to ease that discomfort that does not involve food. Okay. So think about that. Pause and plan. Number 4, eating protein at every meal, especially if you can get 30 grams of protein in your breakfast. That is going to set you up for a great day of stabilized, healthy blood sugar and lower cravings later in the day when you're starting your day out with a high protein breakfast. Okay. And number 5, don't skip meals, especially in the heat. Even light, nutrient-dense meals are going to keep your body satisfied, keep your blood sugar levels steady. Things like smoothies, Greek yogurt parfaits, cottage cheese and fruit with a little honey on top, protein-based salads. All of these things are really, really yummy summer foods that can feel light and satisfying. Okay, so don't skip meals. Have one of these light, satisfying meals instead. Number 6, create a snack strategy in advance. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to pre-plan what treats you want to enjoy and what snacks you're going to have on hand to help support your goals. So you're keeping these fun foods in your day on purpose. Okay, so you're not just waiting until those cravings hit. You're not waiting until you have a strong impulse to have them. You're planning them in advance. Okay, so some healthy, salty or sweet snack ideas might be a Greek yogurt and berries. I love to take frozen berries and melt them so they're like kind of half frozen, half soupy, and then take some plain Greek yogurt and stir in a little bit of like lemon or cheesecake or white chocolate Jello pudding powder, sugar-free pudding powder. It creates like a thick custard, and then you put the frozen fruit on top. So good. Hummus and carrots are a great snack. Maybe you make protein pancakes or protein popsicles with like a protein shake frozen. Air popped popcorn with a little bit of dark chocolate. That's a great healthy snack idea. Pair it with some beef jerky for a complete balanced snack. So you're planning in advance and having these things on hand so you have a go-to strategy. Okay. Number 7, plan a walk every day after dinner. Typically, it's cooling down at night after dinner, right? This is going to help regulate your blood sugar. It's going to help your digestion after a bigger meal. It's going to help curb that, I'm going to sit on the couch after dinner and just lay around kind of routine, right? That a lot of us sometimes will fall into. So boosting digestion, supporting fat loss, burning calories, regulating blood sugar. There's no downside to a walk after dinner. I love it. And the last strategy here, number 8, is set a kitchen closed queue. Okay. So after dinner, you can brush your teeth, maybe make some herbal tea. Just choose something that is a sign to you that, okay, the kitchen is closed. We're done eating for the night. And then after that, when you feel those hunger and cravings come up, you can ask yourself, am I really hungry? I logically know I had a good balanced dinner. And at the time I told myself, I am good for tonight. I am satisfied. I'm full. So what else could I possibly be feeling? Maybe it's bedtime and you're like, I need to just go to bed. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're anxious. Maybe you're tired. And then do something to address one of those things as opposed to snacking on more food. Okay. So hopefully those strategies were helpful for you guys. And just remember, cravings are not bad. Our bodies are just communicating with us, telling us, that something's going on, whether that's emotionally or physiologically, okay? So once you understand what your body needs from that cravings, you can respond with love and address that craving as opposed to just forcing more food down your throat when maybe that's not really what your body's wanting. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. I can't remember if I said this in the last episode, but I'm going to be taking a month off of the podcast throughout June, where we have a lot of travel in my family. I'm going to be gone a lot. And so it's just easier to just take a little bit of a summer break, a little hiatus. I'll be back in July. And I'll be putting notes on my social media too about when I'll be back with the podcast, so you guys know. But thanks again for all of your support and love with the podcast. We've been going for about 2 years. It's pretty crazy. Super, super fun project for me. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you guys next week.